Hello and welcome to this section of Mastering Excel. Here we're finally going to begin to use Excel for some math computations. And honestly, that is really the powerful part of this software program. It's really what we use it for, is to actually do something. I'm a pretty practical person. I like to get into the nuts and bolts of why something is useful. And so with this lesson and the forthcoming lessons, we're really going to dive into how Excel is really useful. So let's get started. We have a completely blank worksheet. I've created a new sheet, and I'm just going to type a couple of numbers in here. Let's type in 12, and let's type in 5, something like that. All right, now something very, very simple. If I wanted to add these two things together, I can have Excel do that for us. But the number one thing for you to remember when you're dealing with Excel and writing formulas for Excel is that what you're going to always be doing is referring to the cell location. So if I want to add 12 plus 5, I need to tell Excel where those things are located. And we've already discussed that the number 12 is in cell B3. You can actually see it right here. And the number 5 is in cell C3. So if I want to add these guys together, I'll just type in the word sum here just to kind of tell us what we're doing. If I want to add these things together, I first need to tell Excel that I wish to enter a formula. And the way you do that is you press the equal sign. When you start typing in a cell with the equal sign, Excel is always going to treat it like a mathematical thing coming up, all right? So, or a mathematical formula coming up. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to type in, okay, this was in B3, so I'm going to type B3. Notice when I type B3, Excel goes and highlights cell B3 for me so I can confirm I'm in the right place. And I can hit plus, which is just the regular plus on your keyboard, and I'll type in C3. Because that is what's highlighted here. And I can see the color coding telling me what I've done here. So the equal sign, I know it looks a little weird to put it at the beginning, but it's telling Excel, hey, whatever follows is really a math equation. So treat it like that. And I'm adding these things together. I don't need to press equal or anything. I just hit enter, and then Excel calculates the answer as 17. Now, don't forget what's going on behind the scenes is the formula driving this result. So if I click on 12, I see that the value in the formula bar is 12. If I click on 5, I see the value in that cell is 5. If I click here, I see the value or what's inside of the cell really is not really the number 17. That's the result of the calculation. What's really in here is the formula. The equal sign, again, means that it's B3. Plus C3. So the equal sign means that you're basically going to do that and treat it as a formula. Okay, for some crazy reason, let me show you something here. Let me go 42 and we'll do 8. Let's say I'm going to do the sum here. Let's say I forget to do the equal sign. I'm going to type in B5 plus C5. So that looks about right. Well, notice right away that the highlighting is not present. So if I hit enter, Excel has no idea that this is math. So it's just going to treat it as text. So it's just going to put it there. So then I say, oh, I know what I did. So I'm going to double click, okay? And then right in the beginning here, I'm going to put an equal sign. I'm going to go back here and change this to C5 to put it in the right spot. So B5 plus C5, and that looks correct. And you add those guys up and it's 50. So that's how you add numbers together. Subtraction works the same way. Let me go here and put subtraction works the same way. Equals, and I can go B7 minus C7, and I can confirm before I do anything that it looks right. When I subtract those things, I get 5. All right, now let me go and do something else. Let me show you a couple things. What if I put a 6 here and I put a 10 here? So let me subtract these guys, and instead of typing in B9 minus C9, let me show you something. When you're doing formulas in Excel, you don't always have to type the cell in. You can just click on the cell. So you can type B9 if you wish, but I can also click the cell here, and it puts B9 in there. And then I can hit the subtraction sign, that's the minus on your keyboard, and instead of typing C9, I can just click over here. So I can just go and pick and choose values from my worksheet by clicking the mouse. It's going to put it in there, and when I subtract those guys, notice Excel is smart enough to know about negative numbers. When you take 6 minus 10, you get a negative answer, which is -4. All right, now again, I can make alterations to this anytime I want. I know that this guy, this cell, is really the formula B9 minus C9. We talked about that. I could double click this and make a change if I want. Instead, if I want to, I can go up to the formula bar and I can make a change here. What if I decide that, oh, that was a mistake. I don't really want to subtract those. I want to multiply those. So I can put the asterisk for multiplication, hit enter, 6 times 10 is 60. So we've learned how to add, we've learned how to subtract, we've learned how to multiply. The next thing we need to learn how to do is divide. So I'll put 40 and I'll put 4 here, and I'll just put divide up here just to kind of let you know what we're doing. And then I could put equal sign to start my formula, 40, or I should say B11, and then you hit the slash, the regular slash key, which is near the question mark, on the same key as the question mark, divide by C11. I can type C11 if I wish, but in this case I'm going to just click it and I'm going to hit enter. 40 divided by 4 is 10. So that's how you do basic arithmetic in Excel using formulas. Now this is the ultra basic stuff, right? This is the stuff we need to know before we can go on and do anything more complicated. Every formula begins with an equal sign. You can then type addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. You can make even longer, here I can type in longer result by doing something like this. I can do all kinds of things. I can say 12 divided by 5 plus 42 divided by 8. So what Excel is going to do is it's going to take 12 and divide by 5. And then it's going to take 42 and divide by 8, which is this guy here. And when it gets the results of those divisions, it'll add the results together. And so I can get, in this case, it's going to be a decimal answer. So you're not limited at all to how long your problem is, but that's how you enter things in Excel. You can see the formula is there. I can make alterations on the status bar. I can double click. I can see color coding and play around with it, grab a blank sheet, do some simple formulas in Excel, and then follow me on to the next lesson where we will continue learning how to write formulas.